Good morning. Welcome to this week's Find Out More Friday. Chosen subject today is to just maybe give some of you a refresher, or you may not be aware about what we call recurring journals. Recurring journals, okay, what actually are they? Purpose of a recurring journal will deal where you've got a regular entry that's hitting your nominal on a regular basis, and it can be for the same amount. So I'll give you some examples, things like standing orders, direct debits, etc. So it's where the value is exactly the same throughout either the year or over a certain length of time, or i.e. period. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you the options when I come to create a journal. Now, you can actually see on the screen here, I've got one that's already been prepared and going through. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back to this and just explain what visually you see on the screen. So let's just create a journal. So as you probably know, you've got the option here. So those people that use Nominal on a regular basis, this is where you would go and create your journal. So as I click on to journal, I create a new journal, and basically what I've got is a blank canvas ready to start. So I'm just going to call this Mark's Recurring. Obviously the date is sort of fairly key. So I'm currently still in June 2023, so I'm going to date it as per what I've actually got onto my system there. Now, over here, you have these options, and what I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks is just covering all these various options we've got. So hopefully when you see me next time, we'll be having a look at the things like reversing, VAT analysis, and what retained actually means also. So if I choose recurring, and then what happens as soon as I choose recurring, I have what we call frequencies. So if I go for a drop down box, I can see I've got a frequency of week, I've got a frequency of month, I've got a frequency of period, and I've got a frequency of days. So obviously what I can do is I could set a journal that I want to post every 5 days, or once a week, or within a certain period, or a certain date within a month, or actually within a period. I'm just going to select month, just to make life a little bit easier. So basically what it's saying is, okay, when is this that you want that to be posted? What time in the month? Obviously, if I chose period, that's slightly different because it'll post it within the period. So let's say, for argument's sake, actually what I wanted to do is post this on the 5th of every month. And then what I can actually then do is say, how many times do I want this journal to be posted? So if you imagine I've got something like a direct debit or a standing order, I might have a direct debit set up for 24 months. So basically what I can do is stipulate the times that you want this journal to be posted. When's the posting date? Now, what I can actually do is I could set that for this period. So it could be June. But what I might want to do, I've got a mandate that's come through telling me what the direct debit's going to be, or standing order. And what I can actually do is say, when do I want this posting to start? So what I could actually say is, I want this to start in the month of July. If I set it to June and I save it, I will be able to post this recurring journal going through. Okay, so idea behind this, you can get this set up, prepared in advance, where you know you've got some payments that are going through, maybe 1 month or 2 months down the track. Note that you've got currency as well. So those people that do have multi-currency, obviously you can do a recurring journal for multi-currency. I'm not going to do that because I'm just going to do this in pure sterling. So once you've created your header, it's exactly the same as you would normally do by creating any journal. So therefore, you're straight into selecting any account that you want to do that posting to. So I'm just going to choose stuff at random here. I'm just going to trade debts. I'm going to just put £100 in there. I'm just going to call it Mark's Recurring. Okay, just pick something else at random. Let's try. I'll just pop it over there. I know this is fairly random, but you can see here, obviously, I've got the comments that are coming through. So obviously, you're going to embellish that a little bit further. Okay, so once I've defined what my journal postings are actually going to be, I'm just going to click OK, and now I have a recurring journal ready to go. But obviously, the posting date on that won't be to the 1st of July. So let's just have a look at an existing one, and you can see what actually happens when the posting takes place. So if I just go to list and start from the top, and here I've got one which is just called period end accruals, and you can actually see here where I've got recurring, it's ticked, it's monthly, and this one is on the 31st of every month. As you post recurring journals, and remember when I set mine up, I set mine to say times to post was 24. In this example, it actually tells me 96 times I want this journal to be posted. It will also advise when you run the process to post recurring that it will say when the next processing date or next posting date will actually be. And over on the right hand side, you can actually see when the last posting actually took place. So again, you can see in this example, it assigned journal number 3304 for this one. It was posted in the last period of May 2023. 74 times this has been posted, and the date that one was posted was the 31st of the 5th. Some of you may just say, so what happens when it gets to the 96? It'll do the 96th posting, and then that will not get posted again because it's achieved its result. So how do we post recurring? First of all, just let me close on that. And what I'm just going to show you over here is that you have an extremely good report here, one called Unposted Journals. Always worthwhile just having a look at this. Some of you may not be aware about this one. Let me just click onto this one. Let me just click OK. Just publish that to screen. And you can see here where we have unposted journals. But if you look at the top one, which was the example that I was showing you before, you can see recurring, and it also tells you how many times that needs to go. And remember, we could see how many times it had been posted, how many times we actually wanted that journal to be posted. So that gives you the results. So that's telling me that still has 22 times to go through. So that's 22 months. If you look at Mark's recurring journal down at the bottom, obviously I created that one for 24. So it's still at 24, ready to be posted in July. So that's a quick, good report. Worthwhile looking at that, because where you have got any journals that you have created, and I tend to call these journal worksheets, because obviously when you post them, it physically creates the journal. So this is where you're preparing your journal ready to go through. So for example, you could be creating a journal there that you haven't actually balanced. So you would see in here an unbalanced journal. So it's always very good to have a quick look at that one, I think, before you do a month end. Okay, let's just escape on that. So how do we actually post recurring? So what you have down here is an option called post recurring. Now, just be aware that when you come to do a period end and you do have recurring journals in there, it will tell you that you do have recurring journals to post. So part of your month end procedure, particularly on your nominal, is to come into here and choose this option under utilities called post recurring. Click onto the option, and straight away what you will see are your journals that are ready to be posted. I can select what it is that I want to post here. So at the moment, all those are ticked. So we've got a little X down the left-hand side there. So that tells me that those are ready to go. I can see the frequency of when those need to happen. Now, I may have had some that I've had weekly and I've had daily, and I may not have run that procedure. So what would happen is these would all appear within that screen, and I will be able to tick them and then maybe post them en masse. Or what I could do is run this function on a weekly, basis or even a daily basis. If that was the case, I will set my recurring journals. The other thing also you've got here is that I can actually override the next posting date. So if, for example, I actually wanted to miss a month of that frequency, then what I can do is I can choose this option here and override the posting date. So if I'm happy with what I've actually got there, then all I need to do is either accept F9 or literally just click OK. So if I now click OK, it's going to warn me, you're about to post the recurring entries. Do you wish to continue? So I'm going to say yes. Process the journals. Obviously, you're going to get the journals printed. So you're either going to print those or file them away, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, so I've just run that. Let me just go back. Let's just run recurring journals again. So post recurring. You can see now I've got no journals to post. So let's go back. Let's have a look at the effect that actually made on that first journal that we had as recurring. So if you recall, that previously showed period of May. It's now actually showing June. It's assigned what the journal number was for this period. And it also therefore now tells me I've got 75 times that I posted it against 96. And remember, just with the unposted journal report, you can exactly see how many more are still ready to go. Now, the fact that I've got this set up, it might be a case that I may have had a direct debit order, standing order actually set up, and I've cancelled that. So what I don't want to do is post it. So if you didn't want to continue posting that, then what you can do is untick this option, and you can see immediately that will clear that out, and therefore you can save that. So therefore that will not get posted again as a recurring one.